90 minutes inland from the Atlantic coast, a jaunt south of the Loire Valley, a short drive from where the Cardinal de Richelieu, the scheming villain in The Three Musketeers, once built a magnificent chateau. For my American friends, I draw a ring in the air for Paris and trace a downward diagonal to indicate 2 hours southwest by train. In the 20 years since I left France for good, the government merged the Poitou-Charentes with the neighboring Limousin and Aquitaine, binding the three regions into a supergroup that it renamed Nouvelle-Aquitaine. I will never call it that, though, so in a way my finger points to nowhere on this virtual map. But I am all too familiar with the knowing smile on the guard's face. This is not what he's thinking of. Indeed, he insists. Côte d'Ivoire? Centrafrique? Growing up, I used to envy my classmates for having the option to explain where they were from in one breath, without caveats or asides. Home was in this or that city, this or that state, often under a single flag. My classmates could see themselves in the faces and names of their parents. Answering the guard's question, the luckiest ones might picture a childhood house where boxes of their crayon drawings were still safeguarded, and friends from kindergarten reappeared down the block on family holidays. Even the kids who had been ostracized for their social standing or economic class could identify a place to which they unequivocally belonged. I yearned for a home this absolute. Mine, however, always felt slightly out of reach. My parents, Suzanne and Laurent, adopted me out of Cameroon at 10 months old. I was Suzanne's niece, born out of wedlock to her sister Florence. For 5 years, they raised me in Châtellerault, a small majority-white French town that might have been best known for its relative proximity to the Futuroscope Media Park. In places, Châtellerault was quaint. Its heart pulsed with cobblestone streets that wound like varicose veins between artisanal storefronts. Much of the population descended from farmers and manual laborers, and now powered the institutions that made up our modest towns. Boulangerie for bread, pâtisserie for sweet confections, and tabac for cigarettes. My own dad pushed sand at a factory that manufactured car parts, and while I had long forgotten what life was like on the African continent, already my preschool and kindergarten teachers wondered where I was from. My blackness was a marker that assigned me in and out of teams. The stark contrast against my dad's white skin and differing last name reminded me of having been imported, an outsider in my body and in my own home. But I doubt my mom saw it that way. She herself never carried her birth father's name. After the divorce, home shifted rapidly. My dad stayed behind while I followed my mom to a village in the Rhone Valley, then to a large public housing project in inner-city Lyon, before the two of us immigrated across the English Channel to London. I turned 11 in Harlesden, a working-class borough in northwest London, and blew out 14 candles with my aunt's family in Reno, Nevada. My mom and I passed through houses and apartment rentals and hostels that we left before getting too attached. The modest farmhouse where my grandparents lived and worked in the Poitou-Charentes hamlet where nothing ever changed became the only constant in this childhood. My parents, then just my dad, took me there on Sundays. We ate lunch in the great dining room, a striking highlight on the property. My grandmother furnished her home for her own comfort and practical needs, as a woman with no intent of leaving would. The result was an eclectic but unapologetically paysan home, filled with a warmth that made me feel rooted and safe, a place I never regretted returning to. Perhaps it was this early exposure to beauty and its direct connection to the farmhouse that would feed my persistent preoccupation with the physical home. The answer I have given the guard is already a compromise, a reflection of what I do each time my origins are in question. Reach for the layer that feels most relevant or representative of me in the moment. But where in time is home measured? By which parents or neighbors is it defined? By what flaws or virtues? I condense my answer, say France or, briefly, England. Depending on who's asking and why, I might tell them that I am from the United States. Though this feels dishonest. Even after 20 years on this continent, I struggle to fully claim either Nevada or Washington, D.C. But don't we all do this?